It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
On this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast, we have another two-decky special from my favourite people in the world. We talk about the new Cork City crest inspired by ancient Rome. We discuss the little we know about the protest on Friday taking place and the reasons why. It comes to our attention the TOTAP Oktoberfest party is happening the same night as the Cup semi-final preview. We discuss the disastrous Galway result as well as the Pats preview. All of this and more, including your mailbag, of which I'm now realising I forgot the Twitter questions of only now, on this week's episode of the Other Three Amigos podcast. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 50, Episode 313 of your multi-award winning podcast. Be sure to throw us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're listening in on. Dan Casey here, and I'm joined by, well, I have written down my other three amigos, because it was supposed to be Wayne Mullins, Declan Carey and Declan McCormick, but currently we only have the two deckies. Arguably the best pod lineup we have. But look, why not join us on Patreon? Patreon.com/TOTAP.
He's going to go spare.
We're doing our best with the time we have to give you a bit of value over there. Jeez, wait till we get him going on the fucking shit City merch. Give you a bit of value over there. €5 a month to join. As ever, we're delighted to announce or have NordVPN as sponsors of the podcast. Sign up now for 4 bonus months at nordvpn.com/TOTAP. It helps the pod out, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Declan Carey, or have the finger up there.
I actually used it over the weekend, and I was over in the USA, and believe it or not, I woke up one morning dying with a hangover, and I wanted to watch SmackDown, and it's on Netflix here. Outside of the US, it's all WWE shows are all on Netflix, but in the US, it was on the fucking USA Network or some bollocks, and I couldn't watch it. So VPN opened up Netflix. I magically appeared in Ireland according to Netflix, and I was able to watch my my feast of SmackDown while it was absolutely nauseous and dying with a hangover. So look, there you go. It proved useful. Even when I was outside of Ireland, I actually thought of it, saying, "Oh shit, what's going on here now?" Opened up Netflix, no WWE, turned on NordVPN, boom. There you go.
There you go. Decky, you're looking forward to seeing a trophy being lifted in Turner's Cross tomorrow night? A few interviews going as well, I presume.
I don't think there'll be any trophy lift. But yeah, Athlone are playing Cork City women tomorrow night. A win and Athlone win the league. So Athlone will win the league tomorrow night. In Turner's Cross, if anybody wants to go along, it's a 7:30 kickoff. Can I also say, Dan, and you know this, I'm a great one for disagreeing in private and then publicly backing the narrative. But I just want to say to Scotty, first time ever, Scotty, I just want to completely disassociate myself from Dan's earlier comments. You know, they were nothing to do with either myself or the other Decky. You know, they were solely on Dan.
The two Johnnies, watch out, we're coming for you.
The idea of the two Deckies podcast drives him simple. Like, you know, the one night I said it, like, you know, the two Deckies, he was like, oh.
Would it be possible for a podcast to get negative listenership if it was just the two of us? Like, I know. Anyway.
All right, we'll drive it on to a bit of a Cannoch first. Alright, under 20s, they lost 5-1 to Waterford. Under 17s, they drew 1-1 with Bows. Under 15s, lost 5-1 to Bows. And our under 14 team lost 4-2 to Pats. It is time for a fairly hefty Commie Watch. Decky, you want to come in first?
I'm just going to say on Academy Watch, it should be noted that a number of the under 19s have, it appears, signed for Munster Senior League clubs. I think there was definitely 4, if not 5, of what would have been considered Cork City under 20 teams played for UCC in the Munster League on Saturday. So that means those lads are gone. No, look, I mean, there's every chance that they may not have been kept at the club or whatnot, but it is that time of year where players start to transition out of our underage setup and back into the Munster Senior League. So, yeah, it's Sam Bailey is one who played for UCC. Obviously, Sam played that night against Bohemians in Dalymount Park, and it didn't go well, but I always hoped we would see him back in the first team squad. And first team, again, I thought, you know, you can't just give a lad that one chance. It doesn't go well and he's gone. But look, it appears that that's what happened. Best of luck to those lads, but a special best of luck to Sam Bailey. I think he may have caught the rough end of the stick when being thrown into the deep end that night.
It probably might be like transfer window related as well. The reason it's happening at this stage of the season, because I'm not actually that clued into it, but I presume the transfer window for the Munster Senior League.
I think, second, so it would have been the first opportunity to play.
So you'd imagine they probably had to sign by a certain deadline, and then they probably thought,
exactly.
Why if they held off till October or whenever, then they mightn't kick a ball then again till January. So yeah, look, best of luck to them, and it's a good experience for sure. Like, and good coaching institution there as well, and they'll, I couldn't probably pick a better Munster Senior League team in terms of how they're run and the coaching qualifications that some of the lads have there. So best of luck to them.
All right, drive into Commie Watch.
Commie Watch with Ivan Draco on the Other Three Amigos podcast.
Well, I had it all planned out that I was going to go to Galway for the merch watch, but no sign of him. We'll hold out hope that he will join us at some stage. So look, we'll go to the one that everyone is talking about, the protest, or potential protest, whatever the case may be. Can you try talk us through this one as I'm mumbling over my words here, trying to get out what I'm trying to say? I don't really know what's going on. It's kind of a bit secretive. Can you try explain?
I don't know either, to be honest with you. All we know is what has appeared on the forum. There's a protest planned. The First Cork City Brigade, FCCB, the Commandos, Jonathan O'Brien are all involved in organising it. I presume as the week goes on, we'll find out details of what's happening. What they've said is that there will not be a pitch invasion, which I think is a good thing. But there is a plan to try and delay the kickoff by 10 minutes. How you do that, I'm not entirely sure. I could have a guess. Toilet rolls, tennis balls, whatever it might be. But we'll just have to wait and see. As it stands, nobody really knows. But that's probably a good thing as well, I mean, people don't need to know all the details as we sit here, So yeah, we'll just see what happens. That's all we can do. Wait and see.
Declan Carey, what's your take on it?
Yeah, similar to the deck. Like I can't really say too much about them because I don't know what's been planned. And look, I just kind of hope. I've more hopes for what it isn't than what it is. Like I hope that there's no like flares and they're just thrown onto the pitch and damage the surface and things like that. So I hope, look, it's sensible to one extent, and but the only reason I'm saying that is because I genuinely know, even before we hit record here tonight, I was asking you, like, do any of you genuinely know or have any semblance of what's been planned? And I don't think anyone has, and I'm sure there's probably reasons for that to hopefully try and catch the club out if they're trying to circumvent any potential protests on Friday, which I'm also hearing, to be honest, that there isn't any plans from the club to circumvent anything, which suggests to me that it probably will be a relatively, politically correct protest. Now, the other thing as well, that I don't know if this is just me, lads, but like there was talks of protests at previous games, and the only kind of unrest I've seen about fans from the ownership has been things like, there was a black smoke bomb set off and there was a handful of banners. Do you consider those like protests? Like they're not really, like they're just fans chanting about the owner and putting up a banner. Like, protest for me is more like, fans lining up outside the ground, not going to the game, protesting about Tom Collin back in 2009. Not turning up or doing something, like, I don't know. So look, again, here I am just speculating what this could be on Friday. I genuinely have no idea. It probably seems fairly apt, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I honestly, Dan, I don't have a lot.
I think this is the first widely accepted that there's going to be a protest, that it's not just the Commandos or whoever taking kind of the lead on it with the black smoke, or if it was them who did the Rome burned while Nero fiddled, or whatever that banner was.
Yeah, I wouldn't call those. They're good, and I thought that was funny and clever, and had an impact. But I wouldn't call it a protest, But anyway, yeah, we'll see. Like, to me, a protest has to be something like, when I think protest, I think people protesting that, and they're not going to go to the game, try and cause the club some kind of financial impact or something like that, and turn their backs on the game.
He has money. He has money.
I know,
I think that's where the fan base are coming from, that they want to make a show, potentially add an element of embarrassment, I think, into the whole thing. Obviously, the game's going to be on RTE, get some attention from, not just the Cork media, but nationally as well.
I think, to be honest, and I said this before we started recording here, lads, like, I don't even think Dermot is in any way even in the same book, never mind the same page as the likes of Tom Collin and some of these characters. Like, and I've said that before, like, it's just, like, short and simple. I think he's not the right man for the job. Simple as that. I don't think there's any, like, intentional malicious malice in him.
How was the fan base? Do you? Because it has to change.
It absolutely does.
100%.
Yeah,
but and how was the fan base? Do you then voice that? If
it's results based at the end of the day, Dan. Like, if the first team were winning and we were going to stay up this season, there would be no protest. Simple as that. And it's just that I think the fans are, and I am, and I could probably speak for you too, lads, that we're sick to death of this yo-yo situation, and it wasn't what was promised. And this ownership group have been given enough time now. This is like the end of the third season, and mistakes are repeating themselves. And I think that's what the intangible is in terms of why the fans are so sick of it. And there's talks of this protest. So I think it's definitely deserved, and it needs to go ahead. I just wanted to make sure, obviously this isn't like a malicious attack on a guy's personality. It's more just about, like, you're not the right man for the job. Simple as that. Like, and this is what the fans think.
I don't think it will be. And from what I've seen, maybe Usher himself would disagree, but I don't think it has necessarily been. No, I'm sure. Look, there's certain lads who will say things very personal, but
that'll always happen. But like, when you're in that position, it's inevitable. Then, like, people have personal attacks on you, and they'll shout at you in public, and they'll talk about you to your family and friends and stuff like that. Like, this part of the job.
As a former chairman, what would you do? How would you handle the protest? Do you let it happen, or do you try stop people from outside the gate entering in?
I think at this stage, Dan, this is just my own personal feeling as a supporter. I think the ship has sailed for this ownership group, and, like, to get to this stage now where there is a protest, I think, like, it has to hit home that the club needs to be passed on to a new custodian, and that's it. Like, I think the only way to react to it is just see what plays out on Friday night, and then have some real, looks in the mirror, and make the right call from there. I don't think there needs to be any, like, statement or anything like that put out before Friday or whatever. Depends what happens, but that's just my own thought. I wouldn't. And I know there was a media interview with Fiacre Kelleher today, which
was a statement in itself. That was a statement in itself, really. True Fiacre.
No, I don't know, lads. Dan, you might know. Was this a kind of a FAI Cup semi-final media day or something? Was there players and coaches accessible in Bishopstown for?
I don't think I was invited anyway, so I couldn't tell you.
I you might have heard through the grapevine, but yeah. But I wasn't a fan of that interview, to be honest. Like, today that went out, I know there was mention of the protests and things like that, but yeah, just wasn't my cup of tea. But look, it is what it is. I'm sure Fiacre had a job to do as a club representative. He said what he had to say, I suppose, and what he, was obligated to say as an employee of the club at the end of the day.
You could never blame Fiacre on that one. Like, you're going to say what he said. Icky, we haven't heard your thoughts for a while. Anything you want to pick up on there, what Kerry said?
There's a few things, like, I mean, firstly, Dec mentioned it's on RT and the protest, and we want to get the protest out in front of the national media, and it's 100% what we want to do, and it's 100% correct. But the national narrative is going to be poor Dermot Usher. Look at what he has to put up with in Cork. It's inevitable. All the Twitter stuff or the X stuff and Instagram stuff, it's going to be other fan bases going, oh, look at them, they're at it down in Cork again. What do they want? Blah, 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 blah. And you just have to ignore it. You just have to ignore all that outside noise. Cork City fans know what this is about, you know? And, like, people won't believe this, like, but, like, I genuinely mean it. There's no... I don't hate Dermot Usher. I don't... Like, if Dermot Usher said tomorrow morning, came out and said, I'm going to change. I'm going to change the structures of the club and I'm going to change how I operate. I think most people would go, okay. No, there will be some trepidation because things that he has said in the past, he hasn't followed through on, you know? But I think there would be a portion of the fan base would go, okay, let's just see what happens. But the big fear is that there won't be any change. And there's no indication that there will be any change. And we all know if there's no change, this is just going to be a never-ending cycle. And people want to break that cycle. So it doesn't matter what St. Pat's fans say. It doesn't matter what Waterford fans or Galway or Shamrock Rovers fans say. Just ignore it. But the national media is not going to buy into the Cork City fan narrative. I don't think they are anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens. And the second thing then is, like the Fiacre Kelleher interview today. Fiacre can't answer the questions in any other way other than the way he answered them. Dermot Usher's a great guy. He spends a lot of money. He gives us everything we want. He's fantastic. It's on the players. And to be fair to the club, they've already started managing this stuff very well. And it's only Tuesday. We'll have more stuff. I guarantee you, we'll have more stuff from Ger Nash and other players as the week goes on. And they'll all be saying the same thing. Dermot's a great guy. And listen, he probably is a great guy. He just doesn't know how to run a football club. And he spent money and he's doing this and he's giving us everything we want. And that'll be the narrative. But when you dig into it, we're short coaches. We're clearly short coaches. We don't have enough football coaches at the club. Staff isn't big enough. The players aren't good enough. There wasn't enough money spent on the squad. And that's the issue that Cork City fans have. We were told the day we sold Dermot Usher the club, that he would not financially compete with the budgets of Shamrock Rovers and Derry City, but he would compete with everybody else. Has that happened? There's no evidence that it has. And if it has, I know, as I said, it hasn't. But if it somehow happened that it had, then the money's been absolutely blown up, like it's been fucking washed away. What's it been spent on? You know? So no matter what way you look at it, the responsibility lies with Dermot. How many managers have we had? How many scenarios have we had? Like, it's just... There's no evidence, like, and Scotty keeps saying this, there's no evidence that anything is going to change. And I'll say it again, this is not a 1 year cycle. It's not even Dermot Usher's 3 year cycle. This is an 8 or 9 year cycle where people are just fucking shit sick of it. And so many people are on the verge of just walking away. But before they go, they want to give it one last hurrah, one last protest to see if they can affect anything, to see if they can affect change. And if the change doesn't come, I guarantee you there's a huge number of people just going to go, I've done my 30 years, I've done my 35 years, I've nothing left to give. And I've nothing to give to the First Division, because the First Division certainly has fucking nothing to give me. And the new generation, the next generation have been priced out. And like, of all the things that Dermot has done, the ticket pricing is the absolute catastrophe. He's priced out the next generation. 18 quid for a fucking young fella. They're not going. And they can pretend and they can call out attendances and whatnot. You're there, you can see it, they're not going. And they're the next wave of season ticket holders. And they're not there. And Dermot might get out and be long gone before that effect is felt in full. But those people who are around 20, 30, 40 years, we can all see, because we've all seen it before. And this is the thing, people are going to try and break the cycle. That's all this is about. It's not about standing there and calling Dermot this and calling him that name and calling him everything else. I don't think that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be about, you don't know what you're doing, yet you think you do. You've alienated the fan base through your pricing and through how you treat people and how you treat the fan base. And if you're not going to change, then please move on and give it to somebody else to have a go at. And you know what? Maybe they'll be a disaster, and maybe they'll be worse than Dermot. But we can only decide that in 3 or 4 years' time. You only can deal in the here and now. And there's going to be loads of stuff. Oh, they fucking sold it and now they're giving out. Well, we sold it 3 years ago, and that was the correct thing in that moment in time. That was 100% the correct thing. Now you ask yourself, what's the correct thing in this moment in time? And that's what the protests will be about. And that's what Dermot has to decide. What is the best thing, not just for Cork City Football Club, but for Dermot Usher at this moment in time? And at the end of the day, Dermot's the only one who can make that decision.
And we could probably do a Patreon special deck on the catastrophes, to be honest. Like, I think, yeah, you mentioned there the ticket price in. Like, I think the hiring of Jordan Ash, to be honest, is another catastrophe, to be honest. Like, that to me, I think was the final nail in the coffin for me. Like I said, probably, I think it was after like his third game, I'd have got rid of him the Saturday morning. The transfer windows have been an absolute nightmare, with this slight exception maybe of the Shawnee and Keats one. And yeah, it's just, so this whole transfer committee thing, you could probably lump that into the catastrophe bucket. And look, there's probably a bunch of other small little like paper cut things we could call them, but yeah, those seem to be the...
Like, you talk about management, okay, for an example. Waterford hired John Coleman, right? No, we said at the time, probably an absolute disaster of a hire. Because when a guy says in an interview, I don't really want to be a football manager, why would you go and give him a job as a football manager? Like, you know? It's like, you know, you don't give a lad who says, I never want to join the Defence Forces. You don't give him a fucking tank to drive for a living. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But it's taken them a while, but they've realised and recognised their error and they've got rid of him. Maybe in enough time to keep them out of the playoff. That's what football clubs do. They realise they've made an error and they correct it. Like, we'll talk about the Galway game in a minute and we'll talk about it, but like, and the Pats game and like, there's just nothing on the sideline that fills you with any kind of confidence. And like, to be fair to Dermot, and I'll always say this, he got rid of Liam Buckley, like, at the time, like, it was 100% the correct decision. And I'm kind of stunned that he didn't chop Jordan Ash at some stage. But he didn't.
There has to be some reason for it.
Because it was clearly his appointment.
He was brought in to be a yes man. And that's what I can see now anyway. Just a yes man. Is he going to go into Dermot Usher's office and demand more money in the budget? Demand better players? He's not. He'll sit there and do what he's told. And I think that was the reason for his appointment.
Like, the only player we signed after the Waterford game and the rest of that transfer window was Kamara, on loan from Preston, who we have a very good relationship and who give us players for absolutely nothing.
Oh, geez.
You know?
Yeah. I could have sent someone there a text deck and tried to sort out a loan. That was no negotiation.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, after that, we didn't do anything else. Compare our transfer window with Sligo's transfer. That's where relegation was won and lost. Sligo had a monster transfer window. Off they go. Then we brought in Fiacre, we brought in Rory Feely.
This is why I'm saying the transfer committee thing. Yeah. But, and again, it goes back to your previous point. Like, you know, it's someone who's in the job, who's not right for the job, but thinks they're perfect for it. And
Charlie Lutz personifies what's wrong with the setup of the football club. Personifies it. Johnny was the only striker in the books. De Janeiro had gone away. Alec had been thrown under the bus. And only for this podcast, the Malik story would be so different. How Malik is viewed would be so different. Only we fucked up their whatever it was they were at in terms of throwing Malik under the bus. But go back to Lutz. No, there's a transfer committee, but Lutz has to be a Jordan Ash signing, or the one who brings him to the transfer. He had him in Aston Villa, right? We've only one striker at the club, Shawnee, at the time. We bring in Lutz from non-league football in England. We all kind of went, ugh, not sure about this, right? When we need a goal against Shamrock Rovers in the last home game, Lutz doesn't see the pitch. When we need a goal against Galway last Friday night, Lutz doesn't see the pitch. So Lutz, according to the man who brought him in, is one of two strikers now at the club, isn't good enough to get on the pitch in those games where we need a goal in the last 5 minutes. Like, that's an abominable situation to be in. So we now have one striker at the club, who's Shawnee. Like, in terms of squad building and doing things, it's just an abomination. And it was that way coming into the season, and then it was that way coming out of the window. And and they're the kind of things people are protesting at. There's going to be no banner going, oh, the squad formation was absolutely shit, usher out. That's not what's going to be on the banner, but that's what's underlying protests. That's what's underlying dissatisfaction with the football club and with Dermot Usher. It's this kind of thing around squads. How much did Charlie Lutz cost? I don't know, and I don't want to think. But the last we saw Charlie Lutz was the day he fell out with Evan McLaughlin over the penalty in the not against the Leinster Celtic, or Leinster Celtic, wasn't it? Or Leicester Celtic, whatever they were called. Sorry, that's the last we saw Charlie Lutz. That day he fought over the penalty, more or less. He hasn't really been seen since. So,
I think he made one sub after the parents. So.
Like, you couldn't find, in the whole world, you couldn't find a striker? You couldn't find two strikers?
My worry, Deck, is that I think the transfer committee still count the likes of, say, Keating, who's on the books, as a striker at the club. And then we all know from being a football supporter all our lives and being involved in these types of situations, you get these bad luck situations where your star player gets injured and you just instantly have to go on a hunt to try and replace him with equal or better. And my worry is that
they become
common sense
personified. Keith's injury becomes personified, magnified 10 times.
Exactly.
When your only other striker was Sean Maguire and Harvey Skeeters, they were the only two others. We did this to death before the season even started. I'm not going to put, everything that went wrong could go wrong, but when it went wrong, we were in a position where we couldn't get out of it. There should have been 4 strikers on the books, minimum. There wasn't. There was 2
Keating got injured.
Harvey Skeeters who were fucked from day one if one of them got injured.
Yeah, I know Keating got injured and we brought in, Daniels, but again, short-term deal, and all this stuff, and it's a complete God help us kind of act, isn't it? Poor us. There should have just been a more emphatic statement done. And to be honest, Daniels probably would have fit the bill if we were able to contract him for the whole season, but we couldn't. So we needed to have the second option then lined up. But again, Keating was really, and I wish him all the very best, and I hope to God I see him play for Cork City before the end of the year. It'd be great for him personally. But he's not going to kick a ball in anger for the club until February 2026. The minute he went down on the pitch, we all said it.
Yeah, exactly. And Keats goes down, as you said. They bring in De Janeiro, who was very, very good, and he's doing very well at Kilmarnock, right? Fair play to the lad. He did very well. You have him on a short-term deal because they announced it until the summer. What are you doing from the day De Janeiro Daniels signs to the end of the summer transfer window?
Nothing.
That's it, and that's the problem. And the whole answer is, I know my guy there, I had him at Aston Villa under 19s. He was very good. Charlie Lutz. He'll do. Fuck me, pardon my French.
The budget?
But,
grand.
But it's just that's not how you run a football club. You go, okay, De Janeiro Daniels is here for 10, 12 weeks. The day he goes, we need to bring in another striker. So we're going to spend 12 weeks scouring Europe looking for a striker who we can bring in. Did we? Evidently not. We got a lad that the manager had coached at Aston Villa under 19s, plucked him out of level 7 or 8 in England, where he wasn't really well thought of. And now he doesn't get game time. So Sean, is trying to carry the whole attacking progress on his back. But we'll talk about that in the Galway review. Anyway, look, protests are happening. We'll wait and see what form they take.
Do you think they are? Declan Carey will probably have to wrap this one up now anyway. But is there a fear that he'll try his pre-game talk with a few of the fans select to try wave off the protest?
Oh, I hope not, and I hope that fans don't even entertain it. Then, to be honest, there's no point. Stop that. No.
Fans won't have it because the truth was stretched when they last spoke to Dermot. So there's no way they're meeting him again. Yeah,
and I'll be honest, Dan. I no problem with anyone going to that last meeting. Right. 1,000% the right thing to do. Meet the owner after being invited by whoever involved at the club, sorted that out. But this time, no, I'd lose an awful lot of time for a good few folks if they entertain that idea. But look, that's just me anyway.
Okay. We will see what unfolds on Friday night. Earlier today, I went down to the Cork City shop, obviously being a bit of a cheapskate. I checked the clearance sale, see if we get a bit of a deal for the season's end, see if they're getting rid of whatever they have. And they sure are. Declan Carey, I mean, the ORC t-shirts are probably nicer than what's on display in the clearance section of the club shop at the minute. It is so like, if you look at my stepdaughter, I'll kill you Timu hoodie t-shirt vibe with this like butchered Cork City logo with swords and spears behind it. I presume the Rebel Army. What did you make when I first threw this into the group chat earlier?
I thought it was, do you know the way down there you see some of those like fake merch websites and eBay sellers and stuff like that. Like, selling Cork City stuff with like the wrong crest and all this kind of, that's what I thought it was when you put the screenshot in. I never saw that stuff for sale before. I don't know why it's in the clearance section or it's on sale. That's just me anyway. I never saw that until you put the screenshot in, and then it is there on the online shop now. I don't know, will it be taken down by the time this podcast goes out on Wednesday? Like, it's absolutely horrific stuff. Like, I don't think we need Gok Wayne's eagle eye here to spot this stuff. Like, it's who the hell signed off on this? Like, there's the Cork City crest with these, like, I don't know what it is, daggers and swords going through this botched version of the crest.
Well,
or something.
I thought this whole Rebel Army clothing was like stuff you could wear through town. Like, imagine fucking wearing one of them.
I swear, I know I'm we're biased and all that, and I'm ultra biased, and I firmly refute that comment on the ORC t-shirt as well. Again, if anyone buys an ORC t-shirt between now and the end of the season, you enter a draw to win a Cork City home shirt for 2026. But, like, it's just a diabolical stuff. Like, I was worried, to be honest, about this Rebel Army clothing thing. I think it can be a bit risky sometimes when you have too much control on what merchandise you can bring in, and I don't know where this stuff came from. If I had a guess, I would say whoever's supplying us in Pakistan shoved our crest into an AI generator or something and said, "This is Cork City. Their nickname is the Rebel County or whatever," and generate us some t-shirts and hoodies and whatnot, and up came out this vomit then that they printed up and shipped over to the club. Like, but that's about as nice as I can sum it up.
And then took some photos on the second page. Like, some of it has like the plain white background, but then some of the photos are just the shirts taken on the ground on tarmac.
And that one hits me in the heart, and because when I got elected to the board in 2018, I made it a personal mission for us to never take photos of merchandise lying on a carpet or the floor ever again. And it looks like, yeah, anyway. Oh, Jesus.
Decky, I know you're not a merch man really, but what did you make of these?
Can I be perfectly honest, Dan? I didn't even fucking look. I saw the photographs in the group and I just went.
If you want to hold on to your vision and not go blind.
Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly. Just saw the stuff in the group, the couple of photographs in the WhatsApp group, and I was like, yeah, that's not good. Okay, let's move on.
It's the least of our worries at the moment. As we said, rock bottom of the table, 11 points behind. But like, anyway, look, there you go.
Okay, we'll drive it on.
Shop.totap.ie for all your Rebel Army merchandise.
Luckily, we have a night to look forward to. A night in Sober Lane for the Cup final for... Is it sponsors? This is FAI Cup semi-final preview. It's, funnily enough, taking place at not only the same venue as the TOTAP Oktoberfest drinks party, but at the same time as well. Declan Carey. What an unbelievable coincidence this is.
I know. And shout out to Wayne on this one and his continental attitude to our work nights out at TOTAP Towers and embracing Oktoberfest. And you know what? We'll see everyone there. It'll be a great night, and might have some TOTAP merch on offer. You know, there might be some spot prizes, and we might give out some awards ourselves. So, I'm looking forward to it then. I had to work hard with the missus to get this night off after a weekend in Nashville. So, looking forward to it. What about you, Dick?
Look, I mean, any chance to go to Sober Lane is one that can't be missed, But look, all joking aside, I do think this doesn't bother me as such. It's like, it was obviously organised and put out there before we got belted 4-0 above an inch core, you know. And I do think that, but like, I don't mind it if you're offering sponsors and you're trying to give something back and like come along. There'll be some, you know, I presume a few free points and a few things, and get someone to preview the cup semi-final. No, you can argue about previewing cup semi-finals. It's really just a cup final that should be previewed, etc., etc. But look, as a method of giving something back to sponsors, no, is it sponsors? Is it certain fans? Is it certain groups? We don't know. Just seen the email that went out. Oh yeah, I find it hard to hammer them for this one, to be honest with you.
No,
it pains me to say it because like I just want to hammer them.
Yeah.
You know?
All jokes aside, like this is where one side of the or arm of the club is going to struggle really, because everything the club does, especially like the day after you just take a hiding, is just going to be under a microscope, and people will look at it and call everything tone deaf. Whereas these people, again, are trying to do their job from a corporate perspective, and they're trying to bring in sponsors, and they're trying to make the club more sustainable, and trying to get local support and put on a good night as well for the people that supported the club this year, and maybe entice some of those to renew next year when we're dwindling away in the first division. So, like, look, can't fault it really to any major extent. No, it's just... And look, it wasn't publicised either. I think someone leaked it out. It was an email sent to sponsors and it got shared around on WhatsApp, which inevitably happens. But anyway.
I just presume all our friends in business will be there. You know, so
with the half and half scarves.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Surely not.
Better time to use a half and half scarf if you have one. That's the time to use it.
Oh God. Oh dear.
Moving on. City 1, Galway 2. Another dark night for the club, really. Ciara, you know, Dickie,
Can I be pedantic, Dan? It was Galway 2, City 1. That's just like, I can't leave it go. I do apologise. But City were the away team, like, so just the home team score first always. Like.
All right. Anyway.
But you can't. But lads, no, there's rules to this stuff, like.
Oh, come on, I'll just leave it off.
The 40 odd years, the home team's club, the score is always called out first.
He is right, Dan. He is right. But look, this is a City pod then. So
Danny,
look.
Sorry, I just don't have it in me to not point. Like, you know that at this stage.
I actually thought about it, and I was like, do you know what? Well, it is a City pod, so I'll put us first. That's
where I'm with you, Deck, from a historian perspective, but and tradition. But for Dan, it's a City pod, so everything should be biased towards City. Is my excuse. But anyway,
and this pod always puts City first.
It does.
Don't ever forget that. Despite the allegations to the contrary.
Ciara, you put in the group chat earlier. The overnight in Galway, you would have a bit of an issue with this one, did you?
Yeah, I just don't understand it, to be honest. Like again, I know people are going to come at me here a bit, maybe, or when they're listening to this, like, be rolling their eyes. Like, I understand overnighters maybe for like going up to Derry or Finn Harps and trying to break up the journey and stuff like that. It's a terribly long drive and all that, but like Galway is like what nowadays with the motorway there and stuff. 2.5 hours. Like, come on. This to me smacks of like, I don't know, a little bit of desperation, little bit of like flexing, a little bit of, you know, brown nosing the players, maybe stuff like that. I don't understand. Brian Lennox told me a story there one time about how like in his earlier days as chairman, he put on a flight for the players up to Dublin when there was a Cork to Dublin route, like, and like, you know, it was I think it was around 2002, 2003 or something like that when we couldn't win away from home. He thought like, oh, this is the sure thing now, like, you know, we'll be up the road there in 45 minutes and like it'll look class and the players will have this great professional mentality then, like, because they flew to Dublin, and I think we got a good hiding the same night, and he said that's the last time he ever even contemplated it. And then he had deployed a needs must from a travel perspective and hotels and things like that. I just don't understand this. Like what were the players doing the whole morning and afternoon in Galway on the Friday? Like what? It must be extremely boring. Like, I remember going over to some of those European trips there. I particularly remember the one in Warsaw, not for the breakfast buffet, no, but just as I was observing like the players and what they do kind of like building up to a game. And I did have a chance to go to the warm-up session, which you're allowed to do the night before a game in the home team stadium and stuff like that. So that was a good experience to see it. But like the other time, like I felt so sorry for the players. They were just sitting around the hotel, bored out of their minds. Like there was some of them, like they were walking up and down, pacing around the hotel campus, and like there was times I was just like, oh my God, like this must be like just the most boring 3 days really. And it seems more glamorous than it is. Oh, you're flying over for a European away game and all this kind of stuff. But like they can't go for a few pints. They can't like head out into the city and whatever, you know. They're all on the clock, so to speak. Like, so I just can't understand why we would do that. Why not just like prepare for it properly? Go up as we normally do. If we wanted to leave a little bit earlier and go to a hotel to do a bit more like pre-match preparation and team meetings and stuff like that, fair enough. Like pack out an agenda, but this just seemed a bit bonkers to me.
Decky.
Look, Deck's right. Like people are going to listen to this and go, Jesus Christ, these lads are non-stop, like just bang them, bang them, bang them. I fully understand why it was done. I fully understand the thinking and why it was done. But I fully agree with Decky as well. I think it's only 2.5 hours up the road. There's a match day routine. And I think players are setting their mindset. They get on a bus. They're setting their mindset. They stop in the hotel in Galway, near the ground, have the grub, back on the bus, down to the game. And it's business all day. Do you know what I mean? You're in the business mentality all day. Whereas Deck says you're in a hotel in Galway, you're hanging around all day Friday. And at what stage on Friday did you start getting into that business mentality? And that's where I would question it. I mean, I don't know what it cost us. Say it cost us $5,000. I don't know. 20 people in a hotel, dinner as well. You know, whatever. I don't know. I'm poking $5,000 out of my arse. Maybe it was a lot more. Maybe it was a lot less. But if you're spending $5,000 on that, you know, would a better use of that $5,000 be to turn to your 1,000 season ticket holders and say, look, lads, thanks for everything. Here's a €5 reduction off the FAI Cup semi-final price. You can get in for 20 instead of 25.
Exactly. Yeah.
Spending $5,000 that way gets you far more benefit and far more goodwill and everything else from those people than overnighting the players in the hotel. And as I said, I fully understand why it was done, and I can buy into it being done. It just, as Deck said, it's 2.5 hours up the road, and I think probably
3,750 would be my guess, Dick. Complete guess of what it would have cost.
But to be fair
to Dermot, no.
Yeah, but to be fair to Dermot, if somebody went to Dermot and said, "Look, this is what we want to do," and to be fair to Dermot, he's putting the bobs. He has put the bobs up to allow them to do that. You know,
this is the worrying thing for me. Is like
this is the thing. Yeah, the football structures are not correct at the club, and this is it's another sign of it, because I'm pretty sure a director of football would have went, "No, we don't need to spend that money. We don't need to waste that money there. Keep it in your ass pocket."
Or some of the more and the right people at the club deck who have the experience of these kind of things, years and years and years of experience of going up to games and preparing when we were playing at the other end of the table and competing at the other end of the table, I should say, and stuff like that. Like they're not being consulted and they're not being asked and they're not, you know,
like the night we beat Galway, the season we were promoted, Deck, the night Rory Keaton was sent off in Galway
and
night, early in the season.
No overnight.
Excuse me. Like, I walked into the hotel to get some dinner. I just pulled in, and the team were coming out against me. The players had just got on the bus, and Colin Healy was coming out against me, and he said, "Oh, do you know, why don't you leave your car there and come down to the ground on the bus?" And I kind of went, "What?" He says, "Yeah, there's a couple of the players that'd love to spend 10 minutes on the bus with you, you know?" And he was laughing, and it was great. Like, it was grand, you know? But it was up that day, get the thing, all business, and we won, and Rory was sent off first half. I can't remember what the minutes were, but we got the business done. And it's just, I don't know, maybe I'm talking out to my hole again, but
no, I just laughy joke man. And that game actually, particular Dick, I went on a bus up for, it was
that was your stag
with my stag, and the team bus passed out our bus while we were taking a recreational stop on the side of the road, like as you do.
Yeah.
But like, you know, just, again, why we overnighted for this one, I just don't There's that.
But as I said, to be fair to Dermot, he put up the funding to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know whose call it was, but I think it's the incorrect call. I think it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary.
It's just another sum of money added to the pile of waste that's already been burned and added to the examples. Anyway, the game itself,
we were fucking shocking. Like, no other way about it.
So look, we sat here last week and we spoke about set pieces and balls in the box, and like everybody knows what Galway are going to do. Galway, who hadn't won a game since June, who, had taken 3 points out of the previous 33 available to them, who were in absolute free fall, and their saving grace is they've Cork City coming to town. And that's exactly how it turned out. And it's like, Walshy needs a couple of goals to equal the record goal scorer. Let's start to make him the record appearance holder. So better to play than Cork City. Did great chance he'd get a couple, and bang, 2 before half time. And it's just and during Nash and the build up to it was like, the players know what's expected of them. They know what they have to do. They didn't play like a team who knew what they had to do. They didn't play like a team who knew what was expected of them. What was expected of them was, as we've often said, to defend the penalty area, because that's what Galway do. They put balls into the penalty area. And we were just fucking so bad at it, and Fiacre hadn't played in 6 weeks, and this is a coaching decision. It doesn't rest with Fiacre Kelleher. It doesn't rest with the players as a group. It rests with the management. There was a decision made to start Fiacre Kelleher in the most important game of the season, a must-win game, when he had not played for 6 weeks, and that decision rested on Ger Nash's shoulders. And as it turns out, it was a fucking horrific decision. Because Fiacre just didn't look like a lad who was ready to play. He had no minutes in his legs. He had no, even if he played for the under-19s the week before or something, which is mad talk, but you have to get him, you have to get him acclimatised somehow. He's been out for 6 weeks. No, if he keeps a clean sheet and he scores the winner, then it's a brilliant decision. And I'm here saying what a decision from Ger Nash. But the decision that was made was not a good decision afterwards. Fiacre completely loses Steve Walsh for the first goal. Even though I would blame Conor Brand for the goal, I think if you come there, you have to get there. And this, shouting at the referee, nobody in the world believed for a second that it was a foul. Pat Hickey got to the ball before Conor Brand got to it, got his head to it, and then Brand clattered into him because he's late getting. Drops to Stephen Walsh, who's lost Fiacre Kelleher, bang, 1-0. That's on Conor Brand. It's on us as a defensive unit. It's on us not being able to get our head to the ball, not being able to do things properly to clear it. It's just a nothing ball in from, an angled free kick. Stuff we should be up and heading away, or stuff the keeper should be collecting. There should be a plan in place. If the ball's coming here, the keeper's coming for it, and we're out mustering the boys to keep them on the floor. We're not even allowing them to jump. Yet Pat Hickey, who was central to everything Galway do from set plays, as a fucking free run and jump. I'll say it again, that's coaching. It was a management decision to play Fiacre. That's management. The inability for, nobody to be dealing with Pat Hickey. That's the setup. That's the coaching setup. It's pretty basic stuff. And we were just horrific at it. And then to be fair, Nolan knocks one into the top corner from 30 yards. An absolute worldie.
Some goal. And we're 1-1. And you're right, okay. In at half time, reset, we're 1-1. Galway are going to be nervous now. They're going to be fucking a little rattled. They were much the better team in the first half, but we're going to go in 1-1. Fuck it, no, we're not. They get down the side of us again, cross in, and Stephen Walsh just, he's there an hour before Fiacre even knows what's happening. Ball's in the back of the net, it's 2-1. And then you're done. We're pretty much done from that. Second half, we create absolutely nothing. And the whole game, we created nothing. If Nolan takes that shot 100 times, it probably goes in twice. So say 1 in 50. Only for a 50-1 shot or 49-1 shot, we lose the game 2-0. Do you know what I mean? We created nothing. You're sitting there, Dan. Tell me one decent goal-scoring opportunity that we created in the game.
I couldn't,
Yeah, because it didn't happen. But yet we're being told all week the players are ready. The players know exactly what's expected of them. The players know what's needed.
There's a trend too, Dick. Like
There is a trend.
I'll hand it back to you, but just obviously last week against Shamrock, like Dara Crowley shot again from 30 yards out, takes a deflection, goes in. We didn't create anything
Exactly.
This is is this now the only way we seem to be able to get a goal? Like, is a deflected shot from 30 yards or a worldy, as you said, like top corner, like fair play to the lad. Like, and he went for it again. He just said, but again, it felt to me like it was a shot where the pressure was off, and he just said, "Oh, screw this, I'm going myself." And he took a good few touches and hammered it in. Anyway,
yeah, we don't create opportunities. Johnny's going to get a nosebleed if he spends too much time in the opposition box at this stage, because he's never fucking in there. Because he's out he's nearly back in the half a line trying to get balls into feet, trying to make things happen. He's now doing all his work so far away from goal. And we don't have the attacking threats outside, despite the Galway commentary team trying to convince us that Josh is the next Messi. You know, it's like we just don't have the attacking threats. And we're not coached. I don't know what we're trying to do. I don't know what our patterns of play are. What is it we're trying to achieve? Are we trying to get the ball wide, get balls in the box? Are we trying to play it into Shawnee, get third man runs? Because I fucking look at it and I go, what's the plan there? And his next seems to be lump it up, hope we get a break, we get a shot, we get a corner, you know, Kelleher might get ahead in it, Feely might get ahead in it, something good might happen. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the attacking plan is. It's fucking hapless, absolutely hapless. We're deservedly going down. And I tell you this much, like 23 points? It's one season long. We've only won 4 games. Like season long. It's one of the worst seasons I've seen from any Premier Division side. And it breaks my heart to say that. But Jesus Christ, like, can't look and think any more of it, like, you know? We've won 4 games. Waterford have won 10. You asked any opposition fan, they tell you Waterford are cat. They're absolutely brutal. Still won 10 games. We've won 6 games less than them. We've scored 5 goals less than them. Do you know? We're now the bottom scorers in the division with 31 goals. You watch what we did in Galway. You watch what we did against Rovers. You watch what we did against Pats. It's clearly evident why we're the worst, why we have the lowest scores in the division. We don't have a plan. I have no idea what we're trying to do. As I said, at least if Shawnee was coming short and you could see the third man runs, there was legs in midfield and somebody was bounding past him and he's going to turn, he's going to get it out to Josh Fitzpatrick and Josh is going to try and find a run that's coming from midfield. Just say, okay, well, that's the plan. Shawnee drops short. There's nobody goes beyond him. As I said, the man's going to get a nosebleed the next time he goes into the box because he's never fucking in there. He's much nearer to our halfway line than he is to the opposition box. 70% of the game. But, you know, the players want to be here. You know, they all know how important it is. I don't blame the players in this at all. I keep saying that. I don't see any evidence that they don't work, that they don't try. I think they're all that thing. They're just not well coached. And in turn, they're not good. They're not good enough to not be well coached, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? If you had a really good manager with that group of players, a really top manager, could he keep them in the division? Maybe, maybe not. But when you have a bad manager with that group of players, you have absolutely no chance. You have no chance, you know? And that's what we have, unfortunately. And look, it will be confirmed at home to Shelbourne, which is just like
that's
of
if we
all
don't,
of them. Yeah,
we don't win, Dick, is it? Or is it? Could it even be if we still win if results don't go our way?
If Galway get 2 points in their games, we're done because Sligo won the other night. So, like, Waterford are 3 points. Waterford and Galway are both 11 points clear of us. The most we can get is 12. So, if Waterford and Galway both pick up 2 points, then we're done.
Do they have a chance to do that before the Shells game? Could we be really? I haven't looked at the fixtures.
No, they don't. Well, Waterford play Drogheda, actually, on Friday night. If Waterford beat Drogheda, they're safe. And then we don't play Shelbourne until the 13th.
What's the story with Galway? Why have they no game?
Because there's a break. The weekend of the 3rd now is this weekend. Then the following weekend is an international break, isn't it?
Right.
So they've squeezed our game against Shelbourne in there on the Monday night.
Yeah.
Because Shelbourne have to play Shamrock Rovers on the Saturday. because they have, so Shelburne have 2 games to make up, so they're being forced to play them over the international
break. So we have to beat
break.
Shelburne at home.
If we don't beat Shelburne, we've only 3 games left. We're still 11, we're 11, 10 points behind, so we have to beat Shelburne.
I presume Shelburne have something to play for. I've
Well,
been focused on the
Europe
mini league.
qualification.
I've been focused on the mini league for so long, the micro league or the nano
Remember when
league or the
Bows were
pico
in the mini
league.
league? Those were good days, weren't they?
I think it lasted 2 games, wasn't it? The mini league. Oh yeah, God. Yeah, Shells are outside the European spots.
All
yeah,
right, we're getting sidetracked here. Gary, you happy to leave the Galway game?
Yeah, like I was, full disclosure, then I was watching it on my phone. I had it on a table in a pub, and to be fair, I was watching it, and I thank God, and I know he doesn't listen to this podcast, so I'll actually give him credit for once. He actually has the guy who was watching the game. It has a good footballing pedigree and played football most of his young life and young adult life, and played at a decent enough level. And he doesn't watch Cork City at all. But he was just absolutely flabbergasted at the set pieces. Like, he was just the only time we really paid attention to the game was maybe if we glanced at it and we saw a break in play or all the set pieces, sadly for us, because Cork City are absolutely atrocious at defending set pieces. And he actually said that Jimmy Cahan's deliveries into the box weren't that great, but we made him look like prime David Beckham. Like, it was frightening. Couldn't defend second balls. Like, defenders, like, happy to just get any kind of a knock on it, which is what he couldn't understand. He said any ball that came into the box, we seemed to be like very confident that we're going to get the second ball, third ball, or whatever. And like, there is no like venom in the clearances and things like that. He said that's just something that was glaringly obvious. But yeah, look, other than that, I'll just have to give Nolan credit for his goal again, but the goals we conceded, and I watched back the highlights afterwards as well this morning, like, just, yeah, for a team that's fighting for their lives again at the bottom of the table, like, we seem to give teams some very easy goals, and sadly again, set pieces caught out again. The second goal, a very easy cross, and got caught out, and to Deck's point as well, like, when we got the goal, how do you not go in then after getting that rocket from Nolan, a lifeline, so to speak, defend for your lives then till half time or keep it tight against Galway, who were probably rattled? How in the name of God? Like, if there's anything Cork City can do to fuck it up, we seem to be able to do it at this stage. It's like any other team playing that game, you think, all right, yeah, 1-1 at half time, you'd put your house on it. But now we can see then just like 45 plus 2 or something it was. Criminal stuff. Like, just diabolical. So, yeah. Look, and then the absolutely dire second half from both sides, really. Like, I'm not going to give Galway any credit, to be honest.
We've said what's to be said.
Yeah, we all know my feelings on that team as well. So, on the club, so yeah. I'll give them
fair play to all
credit.
the City fans who went
well done,
up
Galway.
anyway.
Beat the worst team in League of Ireland Premier Division history, as Decky said. So, fair play.
Yeah, just fair play to all the City fans who went up.
God, yeah.
Here, I have Sligo booked for the end of the month. Like, it's going to be a nice old trip up to Ben Bulbin, like, isn't it?
You're Ben Bulbin, Dan.
I'd be the only fucking one in the away end, will I?
You're off your rocker, to be honest.
Saturday night in Sligo, you'll still have a few.
What's going to happen after the game? Like, there'll be 3 of us in there. Will they come up and clap us or what? Like, or will we just shout over, you're all right, lads, leave it off? Like,
like a funeral. Like.
Get yourselves way down the road there, lads. Sorry.
Oh dear.
We gave it to the TOTAPers after the game. Lost in Galway, all but down. What gif sums up your mood? IFB Media has like a flushed away gif of a lad going down a toilet. Kevin Barry Dorney photos says, wow, this is totally unexpected gif. Richie has a Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys blinking. Pat Connolly has Beaker from the Muppets going, this is a shit show. Eileen Ring, I'm going to be here in my feelings for a while. Stephen Burke, it's fine, everything is fine, everything is burning meme. Wayne, There's something very familiar about all this. Declan McCormack, clown school. Being a clown isn't easy. Billy Dorney, a man face slamming into an iPad. Billy Dorney, the lad from the Titanic, playing a violin. CCFC man, insert a rhino, doing all merciful big shite here. Gareth the Bad Boy Barry, maybe I like the misery. Sean, Cork City boy Sean, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, it's...
Don't be harsh on yourself, Tad.
You get the... Philly Crowley, I expect nothing, and I'm still let down. Yeah, look, it goes on and on.
That's kind of it, like, isn't it? I wasn't expecting anything either.
I was just saying, how many gifts is he actually going to describe?
Yeah. Our expectations were low, but holy fuck, that's type one.
Yeah. It was just horrific. It was horrific.
And stuff.
All right, that concludes the first half, TOTAPper. Stay with us in the second as we have a beautiful mailbag as well, I'm sure, a beautiful and a very exciting Pats preview. Don't go anywhere.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/TOTAP for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.
Welcome back to Part 2 TOTAPper. It's time for the mailbag.
Почтальон Пэт. Почтальон, почтальон, почтальон и черно-белый кот. Только день начнется, Пэт с утра проснется, горожанам письма повезет. Почтальон, почтальон.
Right, to our lovely Patreon people, John Magner starts off by saying, just on the ticket pricing, lads, myself and the young fella are season ticket holders with a good few years. It's after costing us an extra €87.50 with the 3 cup games. It's not about the money, but I feel the season tickets were pointless this year. No concession for a cup game, and for the Shamrock Rovers game, some random lad who bought a ticket for that one game gets the same discount in the club shop as us having season tickets. Just feels like a kick in the nuts, really. I mean, Declan Carey, it's hard to argue with the sentiments there.
Just a bit tone deaf from the club to do that. Then I picked up on that in the Patreon comments. Like, we had a day in the club shop, which was a day for season ticket holders to have some kind of discount. We've done that in the past as well. I was involved in a few of them. But then, to probably drive a bit of sales for a Shamrock Rovers home league game, we gave the Dippers, as they've been called, a discount day in the club shop on the same day as well. The same thing season ticket holders, I guess, paid for as a bonus, right, as part of their season ticket holdership or whatever. Yeah, just, again, tone deaf and can't read the room would be my summarising of that one.
Decky, when you're finished yawning there.
Yeah, look, I mean, Deck is right. It's even if you did it 3 months apart or something, it wouldn't be as obvious, but just do it and then do the Shamrock Rovers one the week after. It completely alienates your season ticket holders. And this man, John Magner, is not the only person to comment on it. Other people have commented on it. And the result of it will only be seen in terms of season ticket renewals next year. And they will massively drop off. There's no doubt about it. But look, the club know these things. They understand business. So, Can't question him.
Dylan asks, thoughts on the planned protest? Will he be taking part?
Well, I think we've given our thoughts on the protest. Will we be taking part? Again, I don't know what format it's taken. I'm quite willing to take part. I haven't stood in the shed in, I don't know, 15 years, longer now at this stage. And if it's just kind of confined to the shed and the shed area, then I probably most likely won't be in the shed. If it's happening around the ground, then 100% I'm willing to take part. 100% I will take part. Just like everybody else, I just need to wait and see what the format is and what's happening, etc. But yeah, I'm 100% willing to say.
There'll be Words Originals from the Donny Ford flying onto the fucking pitch.
Tennis balls from the shed and worders from the Donny Ford.
Gary.
Yeah, Dan, when I saw the news of the protest today, I said, you know what, I might head along to that, but then I'd be worried that there might be a match breakout afterwards. So unfortunately, I might leave it off. But and I stole that one as well from my mystery benefactor. He sent me on that one today and said I could gracefully steal it for the pod. So yeah, no, the unfortunate thing is there's a couple of aspects to it. Really, Dan, is it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know what it even is, to be honest, before I could say that I'll take part or any of that stuff. It's a strange one.
Okay. Philly asks, what should have been the approach to the cup game ticket-wise? Cut the price, ? Season tickets in free, /children in free. Surely filling the cross has to be priority over sticking to €25.
We could do this forever. Personally, I would have went 20 quid and I would have done something for young fellas and kids and sell it out. It's never going to sell out. Pats will probably get the full St. Anne's Road end at this stage. You know, health and safety and all that bullshit will come into play, and they'll have it out as they had 2 years ago.
It'll be the same as that, yeah. Bring as many dubs down as you want, lads. You know. Jesus. I'm old school when it comes to that one, so don't get me started.
Oh yeah, I know I'm old school as well. But, you know, they're entitled to 700. They should get 700, not 701. I don't know how many at this stage they're going to get. I presume they can have as much of the St. Anne's as they want because health and safety will be thrown out.
Again,
it was a huge opportunity. It was a huge opportunity to say to the fan base, look, we recognise we've made mistakes, but here for the biggest game of the year, we're going to give you something back, especially season ticket holders, and hopefully you come out and we fill the cross and we make it a big, loud, impossible place for St. Pat's to play football. And I fear that's not what it's going to be. I genuinely hope it is. I think there might be 4,500, maybe 5,000 there. Irrespective of what we think, it is still an FAI Cup semi-final. And people who don't go every week are just going to go, oh, it's a semi-final, I'll go to that. They're paying 25 quid once a season. It doesn't bother them. It's people who are paying 25 quid, 18 home games and 3 cup games or whatever it is. That's who prices bother. So yeah, I don't know how many there'll be there. 4,500, 5 grand. I would have certainly done something for season ticket holders, fans, for everybody, and went the route of filling it, but that's not the route we went.
Yeah.
Again, I keep saying, you know,
the game is on TV. Next well, it's on RTE, so free to air. It's it's supposed to be pissing rain around the afternoon time, but it's supposed to settle by maybe 6 o'clock. So, you know, I agree with you. Somewhere in the region of 4 to 4.5, I would say. And mainly, again, because Pats will beef it up. Like, they'll bring 1,000, 1,200.
That was a good away end 2 years ago. And they're all together in one section. They're going to be fucking loud.
Like, you
that
got
was
pulled
Sunday
over
afternoon as well, if I remember correctly, wasn't it?
Yeah, they'll still come.
It wasn't Friday night.
Yeah, they'll come. And, it was, again, huge advantage. You got pulled out of the hat first in a semi-final.
Yeah.
You use it you take every advantage you possibly can. Especially when we need all the luck we can possibly get. But why would you hand it back then? Oh.
The money. Billy Darney says, will there be a fans protest at half time in the cup game? Hopes the fuck there is, so Dermot can see and fully comprehend what he has done to our club. P.S. I won't be next or near the club until him and the managers get the fuck out of Dodge. I'll travel to a few away games next season, but under no circumstances will I purchase a season ticket again till he says something F's off.
I know Billy a good few years now, and Like, to hear him say he's not going to buy a season ticket, that's fairly damning. Like, the guy used to come to the cross hours before kickoff to make sure he gets his seat and all that kind of stuff. And I used to always see him on the way into the ground when I was arriving early and have a chat with him and stuff like that, and his young fella. And yeah, look, sad to hear that, Billy, to be honest. But look, got to do what you got to do, buddy. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The man bleeds Cork City. Philly asks, what 3 players currently playing in either division are you looking to sign for next season? There's a coffee fella at Cove that could do a job for us. Decky.
Okay, so Scotty has made this point numerous times. We could do the same thing. You sign Barry Coffey. Barry Coffey's as he's shown again, he's a very good first division player. And my colleague here has made the point that Barry Coffey's quite within his rights to say to Cork City, I'm not signing for you unless you give me a 2-year deal. So we give Barry Coffey a 2-year deal. He's very good in the first division next year, but we already know, and I don't mean to be cruel and harsh, but we already know he doesn't cut it in the Premier Division. We know that from experience ourselves. So what do we do? Like, I was listening to something with Troy Deeney last week, and he was talking about, he'd scored 26 goals in the Championship or something the year Watford had been promoted. And first game of the Premier League season, he's running out onto the pitch convinced that he's going to score somewhere between 15 and 20 Premier League goals. And they're playing Everton opening day, and John Stones is playing at Everton. He said there's a ball knocked up to him. And in the he thinks, I'm away here, because that's how it would have been in the Championship. He said before he knows it, John Stones has come out of nowhere, cleaned him out, ball's gone out for a throw-in. And he's actually got up. He's only into the game about 90 seconds going, what the fuck was that? Where did he come from? How did that happen? And he said he's walking off the pitch at half-time thinking, I'll be lucky to score 3 goals this season. And it only took him a half to realise the difference between Championship and Premier League football. Now, economies of scale, but there's a huge difference between First Division and Premier Division football in this country as well. And this is the thing, and we're actually in a horrible situation. We're in a horrible, horrible situation. Because, you sign a Leeds Evatt from Treaty, you sign a Barry Coffey, you take somebody who Dundalk might leave behind in the division, whatever way you want to go about it. As Deck said, they have you over a bar for 2-year contracts. Are you going to not give it to them? And here's the other thing. Don't be surprised. People might have heard my phone ringing there. With somebody in the league ringing me, I don't know what this thing is going to be, and it's going to be women's stuff, not men's stuff. There's teams in the first division next year going to have a crack. They're going to think that we're vulnerable. And there is, 500,000 for being promoted in terms of the UEFA money. Bray Wanderers, I think, are going to spend money. Athlone are probably going to spend money. We'll be there. If Waterford were to come down and lose a playoff to, say, a Cove or somebody, there's this idea that we'll have the first division to ourselves. I'm not sure that's quite accurate for next season. I think there's no carrot of £500,000 there in UEFA prize money or UEFA solidarity money that you get for going up. Bray changed ownership. Athlone changed ownership. Bray have been quite good this year. Athlone have been a basket case, but you can turn it around pretty quickly in the first division. So we may have competition for player signatures. And Bray might be willing to give a fella a 2-year deal. Athlone might be willing to give a fella a 2-year deal. Can we give a fella a 2-year deal that we know, because we have previous experience, probably aren't going to cut it at the Premier Division level? If we do, it's insanity. But if we don't, do we get stuck in the First Division forever? And they're the questions that have to be answered. And I don't know what the answers are to the answer.
I think that with the specific Coffee example, and I know I've said in the past that players are going to demand 2-year contracts, and I think that's what will happen. They'll look at it and say, there's an owner there now, this isn't Forest, this isn't whatever. They have the money, and they're desperate. They can, I can demand my 2-year contract. Like, using him as an example, look, he is probably going to finish the season on 30 goals, maybe more at this stage. Like, he's just banging them in non-stop, and he's still young-ish. We signed him on a 2-year deal. This is, again, a hypothetical, even if he wants to come back. And he's part of a squad of 25 for 2027. in the Premier Division. He's not necessarily a starter or whatever. And that's probably what... Would you be disappointed if he was in your squad of 25 versus some of the players we've had in our squad of 25 this year? Like, to be fair, like, he's not a starter in the Premier Division in 2027
It's happening already. It's happening already. This is the shit that's going to happen. They're going, like, fellas are going to be roaring for Barry Coffey.
I'm giving the club the biggest benefit of the doubt. No, they don't deserve just to
going to be a
that.
fucking avalanche of shouts for Barry Coffey. He's got 30 goals, get him back. And I fully understand it because we're going to be a first division club. But Dick says, he'd be grand as a squad player in the Premier Division. Last time he was a squad player in the Premier Division, he wasn't grand. If Barry Fearless, I'm sorry, but we need to fucking be realistic here. And we're in a terrible, terrible predicament. This is the point I'm making. We're in an awful, awful predicament. Do you know?
And I said it.
And which way do you go? And the big fear is we don't have football guidance. Do you know?
I'm speaking from the perspective of, like, obviously 2023 was it, like, we made an absolute dog's dinner of those windows anyway, and there was all those excuses rolled out about, we didn't have time and all this crap, which has been shown hopefully in hindsight now to be false. And, like, I just think he would be an okay part of a Premier Division squad if we did actually have a management team that recruited a strong 14, 15 players that were really quality Premier Division standard.
I wish Scotty was here. Do you know what would happen? Barry Coffey would score 25 goals for Cork City in the First Division next year, and people at the club would go, well, Barry's going to start in Premier Division next year.
This is what, again, prefacing it with, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to a new owner and a proper management team that, like, they wouldn't do that. But look, that's just my thoughts. And yeah, just to answer the question, Dan, I can't think of any other names, but I would bring back Dylan McGlade.
Well, you met him. Did you meet him the other day, or did you?
No.
I thought you were seen, much like Dickie was seen with
lads,
Clancy. I think you were seen with Dylan McGlade.
No. The only time I ever had coffee with Dylan McGlade was in the tea room at half time when he was recovering from his MCL. And,
I didn't say no coffee.
Hey, so hotel room booked.
Here we go, no lads.
All right, Evan Cashman would just like to give Dermot Usher a well-earned tip of a Cork City bucket hat for putting us on course to FAI Cup glory and in rude health ahead of a fascinating First Division in 2026. And I'd like to ask the lads, which of our Europa League opponents should we look to sign players from?
Fair play. So look, we'll wait to see. Europa League. I know I can't do this anymore. I'll be honest with you.
Trying to think of Crystal Palace players, the
whole Kerry, you know, Coffee be grand as a Premier Division. Like, it's just upset me so much.
You're taking me out of context, I feel.
It's rattled me.
We'll have a chat about this on Thursday night in Sober Lane, Dick, and I'll get you around after a couple of Guinness.
Richie asks, you're on a match in the cross and the Delhi belly strikes. Which jacks are you running for?
Turner's Cross Tavern. Turner's Cross Tavern.
Richie, bad Dicky. Does Jer's coffee order change based on his mood, or does he order a cheeky chocolate brownie now and then?
Has Richie nothing else to do all week when he fucking come up with stupid questions about Jer Dash's coffee? Yeah, he likes a brownie. Definitely. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something funny, but there's nothing popping.
You had a great answer last week when you got this. Very smart.
That was true. I've never met him when he was wearing his Cork City.
Richie, you've defeated him. You've defeated him. Finally.
Well, let's see. Let's see who's defeated. Sean O'Sullivan says, can the ORC explain why he was in pictures in a Bows jersey over the weekend?
Sean, you need to get your eyes tested, my friend. If you had the honour and privilege of going to one of Oasis's gigs like I had, you would have seen that they were selling Adidas crossover Oasis merchandise, nothing to do with Bohemians. It was blue in colour with a black trim. They were an exclusive run. There's loads of Adidas Oasis merch out there. There's zip top jackets, t-shirts. I think they did hats and stuff. And I happened to get one of the jerseys. It's not a Bows jersey, my friend. Jesus, don't be spreading those despicable rumours now. And
stop. Yourself and Daniel Lambert were protesting outside Crow Park at the NFL game on Sunday. Saw you.
With Dylan McGlade.
With Dylan McGlade behind the Bohemians flag. Three of them.
McGlade is going nowhere near Bows. Let's come on. He's coming back to City.
All right. It's game time this Friday. Pat's at home in the cup. Actually, when I seen Off the Ball post something, they've gotten Sean Ian in this charade of the protest stuff now that it's not necessary type of vibe.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I think every fan and any person that supports a football club, I think they've every right to entitled to their own opinion. And if they're going to start a protest, I can't stand here and tell you that they can't do it and they shouldn't do it. But what they probably have to think about is that going to help us players going into a really, really big game. I don't know. I know that myself and the boys in there are going to still prepare and do everything right for a huge game on Friday, because we're coming up to against a good team, a massive opportunity, and we just have to park those sort of things to the side, because every fan's entitled to their own opinion. You know, like, it's been difficult for us. It's been really difficult for them as well, because that's our club. They've travelled in their numbers to everywhere in the country, and we haven't been good enough. They've a very right to be disappointed in us. Because if I was a fan standing, I'd be disappointed in us as well. But they probably just have to think of it as a thing: is it going to help us players going into the game Friday night? They'll probably have to answer that for them. And there's some lads in that dressing room there that probably haven't played in a massive crowd at Turner's Cross, so it's something for yourselves to really get up for. I think 2 years ago they had Pats in the semi-final as well. Similar kind of circumstances. So you're hoping to, flip that and come out the winning side this time and give everyone something to shout about.
Look, Shawnee is, like he says, fans are entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to an opinion, but and he's talking about, how is it going to affect the players? Well, it's already been stated and quite clearly stated. The fans are going to be behind the players, behind the team for 90 minutes and longer if it goes to extra time and penalties, all that. The protest is pre-game and it's against the owner. And at no point this year have the fans not been behind the team during 90 minutes of a game. Obviously there was stuff in Waterford after the game. We actually thought it had galvanised the players for a little bit and galvanised the club, and obviously it hasn't gone that way long term. But look, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Shawnee said there. It's very obvious. It's very fair. But I think he also has to realise that it's been openly spoken about that the team will be supported for 90 minutes, the players will be supported for 90 minutes, and the protest is pre-game and it's against the owner. It's not against the players, it's not against the team, it's not even against the management. The protest is about the owner and his running of the football club. That's it.
The general public, though.
I understand. We're good. Look, there's no way short term.
Yeah,
short term, you can't win the PR battle.
Yeah, that battle.
But no matter what you did, you couldn't win the short. The thing is, you couldn't win it long term. But it has to be a long term view. You're not winning the PR battle in the short term. You have to accept that.
Yeah, I guarantee you tomorrow when I go back to work, there'll be people saying to me, "Oh, I heard there's a protest against the players on Friday night." Shawnee Maguire was on there saying, "Please don't make it happen," and whatever. Why would you do that when it's a cup semi-final? You're already relegated. This is the last chance the club has for success and a big day out in the Aviva. Why would you scupper any chance of that by having a protest on Friday night? That's the narrative.
Yeah. Of course it is, but you're not scuttering it.
I know.
You're not scuttering it. You're not scuppering it.
So there'll be enough
double
fellas there.
T instead of double P makes a big difference there, to be honest.
There'll be enough people to scutter it themselves besides the fans and everyone else. But maybe I'm being a bit harsh there. Maybe not. But look.
Right, lads. The game itself. We haven't talked about that yet.
Unfortunately, there's a game after this protest.
Can we still do it despite the 4-0 loss in Inchicore last week, whenever it was? Despite the shit show of a season, Nicky, can we get into an FAI Cup final?
Yes, obviously. It's going to be really, really difficult. We have to have learned. We have to have learned from the game in Inchicore to have any chance at all. No, the rain, and if it's a heavy pitch, it probably helps us, because Simon Power is all pace down his side, as he showed in Inchicore, but we can't have the fullbacks as high as we had that night. And I know when they get to second, we're one down and one up, but tactically set up that night, we were it was nonsense. You can't have your two fullback and all the space for the wingers to run into. It's very difficult to see it. But it's a cup semi-final, so yes, of course, Shawnee can pop up out of nowhere with a piece of magic. Maybe not, but it does feel like we're not going to generate a goal through our patterns of play and create 5 or 4 or even 3 genuine goal-scoring opportunities. Our best chance is probably from a set play, a corner, a free kick, maybe a direct free kick, something like that, a goalkeeping error, a penalty, something like that. We need something to go our way. Rob Harvey is reffing it, so that's one strike against us straight off, because the man has never given us anything. I don't doubt he's going to give us something on Sunday. On Friday, it's not Sunday. So, look, yes, we can win the game. It's just going to be extremely tough, Dan. I said, we have to have learnt, we have to have taken the lessons from Inchicore, and we have to come with a different game plan. You have to come with, man for man, they're better than us. So when you have 2 teams and one man for man is better, if the team who is not as good man for man win that game, generally it's because of what's come from the sideline. It's because of the game plan. It's because of the tactical notes on the sideline that they've created opportunities. They've done stuff to stifle the opposition's attack. They've done stuff to make it more difficult than it's normally for them. And then they found a way to get a goal or found a way to get 2 goals. That comes from coaching and management. And I just don't have any confidence, unfortunately, that we will have the tactical notes and the tactical know-how on the sideline to come up with a game plan that beats St. Pat's over 90 minutes. Unfortunate and all as that is.
Kerry.
Yeah, I just think same as Deck, really, Dan. Can we do it? Of course we can. I said it a few weeks ago, anything can happen in 90 minutes or, if it gets to a penalty shootout, like you saw there even a couple of weeks ago, like Shamrock and Drogheda went to penalties, and there was a time even during that shootout I thought Rovers were gone. And look, anything can happen. So look, as Deck said, it's going to come down to a moment of magic, something like a rocket from Nolan. Maguire gets a half chance, and he is a great finisher, and he can put away difficult chances. Something like that. A deflected long distance effort again from Crowley, and then the greatest defensive performance of the season, without a shadow of a doubt, is required on Friday, which then leads me to the lack of confidence and just, again, I wouldn't be putting money on City, just to, from a predictions perspective, and we'll be rightfully, I'd say we're massive underdogs. Did you check the odds?
I don't know. I'd say there's nothing out yet.
Are you going for it, or are you just dragging it?
No, I don't think you can go for it. I think if you go for it, you saw with Simon Power's pace what they can do to us on the counter attack and things like that. I'd be settling in and keeping. Look, the longer the game is 0-0, it benefits us more than it benefits St. Pat's. I think that's the thing. But the problem is, as Deck has said, it's very, very difficult to see us keeping a clean sheet, which means we have to then score 2 to win it.
And what's the difference? I know this is a big day out in the Aviva, and no matter what the players say as well, I'm sure they'll be more mentally up for this one than the away game up in Richmond Park. But that away game up in Richmond Park, we had to do all the things that we're saying we need to do on Friday night, keep it tight, etc., etc. Don't concede in the first 10 minutes, all this kind of stuff. And I just don't have any confidence that we'll be able to do it. And we lost even just last Friday night in an absolute must-win game against a very poor Premier Division side, Galway. We were comfortably beaten in the end. I don't know. Are the players just, my only hope for Friday is that in terms of us actually pulling out a performance to win, is that the players have given up for the last couple of games because they know we've been relegated and they're just waiting for the cup final or the cup semi-final. That's the only semblance. And the proof, would I be right if we go out then and win on Friday and put on the performance of the season? it kind of proves my point, like, doesn't it? Which would probably frustrate you even more as a City fan if they pull out this kind of unbelievable performance and keep Pats out for 90 minutes and work hard and clear every ball with venom and defend as a unit. And Bran, he's a great goalkeeper. If he puts on another great performance like he's been known to do, and then Shawnee puts away a half chance and we go 1-0 up and we keep Pats pegged back for 90 minutes, like, would it not just, would there be party and not unbelievably pissed off? 99% of you will be delighted we're in a cup final, but will there be 1% of you saying, like, what the fuck have you been doing for the last couple of weeks? I know you come out for the big show then in the cup semi-final to get a chance to put on a suit for the Aviva.
No, I genuinely don't think that crosses people's mind. Maybe on Thursday or Friday next week when you stop celebrating, but I don't think, I genuinely don't think it does. I think if you can make a cup final, listen, Cup final day it's a great day out. Do you say years ago the league was for the players and the cup was for the fans? And that's how it was done. And I think, like, I want nothing more than to go to Dublin for a cup final again.
Yeah,
it's just,
me too,
it's just a great day out. Like,
as I said, that's why I said it. It's the 1% maybe that you'll be there again. Celebrations die down. You make your plans for the cup final, and you're like, you'll start to realize, like, you know.
No, we've seen so much of them. I think my mentality, my thought process would be: this is just a moment in time. This is just a day where everything went right, where things went our way, and we've got to a cup final.
That's a very valid point. Yeah. Again, we still have to be on it and play our best performance.
100%,
right?
100%.
What's our team?
I don't see many.
Maddie Kiernan, Maddie Kiernan, Anderson, Feely, Dara. I'm going to play Benny Couto in front of Maddie Kiernan. So I want to double down on Simon Power on that side. Do you know what I mean? I want that double. And I think Benny's good enough going forward, and Maddie can overlap this, but I'd like that kind of double dip defensive player in terms of keeping Simon Power quiet on that side. So I it's outrageous to suggest it, and he won't do it, but that's what I would do. Greg, I'm just thinking off the top of my head now, so I'd probably miss something. Greg Kamara, Shawnee up top. I'm missing somebody in the centre. I'm not playing Sean Murray. I think he's massively out of form. Sorry, Evan McLaughlin, of course. Yeah. Sorry. So a three of Kamara, Evan and Greg. Couto on this side. Shawnee up top.
Like it's going to start.
Dara's at right back. Toss a coin then, I guess, between
Nolan and
Josh Fitzpatrick and Nolan. You know, if Matt Murray was fit, you can't probably bring him straight back in now. But yeah,
good impact guy if he's fit and have him on the bench to come on for the last 20 minutes and extra time if he's available.
But I was going to say, I think Kit Nelson's been bang out of form the last month as well. So Kit's probably hard done by. Would I consider playing Kit from the right? Maybe. It's and this is the problem then. There's no standout. This is definitely our first 11. Do you know what I mean? Like, Darragh Crowley could play right back. Darragh Crowley started in central midfield above in Galway. Like, as this Premier Division football, like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know, we all have great time for Dara. He works so hard. He pops up with goals. He does everything. Like, he's supposed to be the nicest lad you'd ever meet. But there isn't another club in this division starting Darragh Crowley in central midfield in the Premier Division game. Do you know? It's where we are.
All right. Attendance-wise, what are we expecting in the Cross?
4-3-1-1.
4-3-1-1. An actual or boosted?
I know it's a cup game, no season ticket holder boosts or whatever. I'm sure there's probably, I don't know how the sponsor comps and all that work for FA Cup games, to be honest, I can't remember. But look, yeah, I'm sure each club gets allocated a number of tickets for sponsors if they need them or whatever. Yeah, that'll be the only boost, I guess, which will be minimal to inflate the attendance. But Pats are bringing what, like at least 1,000, we reckon, anyway. So
Attendance, I there might be close to 5 there, but if the weather is very bad and I think it will depend on weather. I think there'll be a lot of late purchases depending on how the day is working out. Hopefully there'll be 5 there.
There's no incentive to buying your ticket early anyway, is there?
No.
Like you could buy it at 5 o'clock on Friday.
Yeah.
There's no incentive.
All right. And then lastly, what's the score going to be?
1-0 Cork City, Maguire.
No.
A Thunder bastard hits off a stray bog roll.
Anything.
And finds its way into the back of the net.
In office, you know what? I don't care then, to be honest. Anything.
Eyebrow.
It's people's eyebrow.
We can't. I don't think we can keep a clean sheet. I just don't see that. Look, I hope and pray we can win 2-1. Do you know what? I take winning on penalties. Do you know what I mean? Like you win it anyway.
Oh God, yeah.
Any way you can.
And this is a situation we're in. Jesus, you take like remember the Shamrock game at the Cross a few years ago? They got like 4 men sent off and all that.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Anything, any kind of bombastic affair whatsoever. Like you know.
I'm going to say 2-1 Cork City, and we head up to Tala to play Kerry in the final.
Scorers, Deck? Any prediction on scorers? Who's getting the 2 goals?
Scores for us. Rory Feely.
Why are we heading up to Tala to play Kerry in the final?
Because they'll move it out of the Aviva, so there'll be nobody from Kerry going. No, obviously I just fucked up, Dan. Sorry. We'll be going to the Aviva. Rory Feely from a corner. Rory Feely from a corner. Dara Crowley with a last-minute winner when he's moved from right back into the centre of midfield, and he thunder bastards one in from 35 yards. And I come on here next week crying about how much I love Dara Crowley and how I've always loved him. And
then the double irony of us scoring from a set piece, as opposed to conceding from them for months on end. Yeah, that would be fairly ironic. But you know what? It's a cup semi-final. Anything can happen in the cup.
I'd say the anything would be a Pat's comfortable victory at 3-1. We might get a bit of hope at some stage, but hopefully we can drag it to penalties.
We were finishing this very negative pod on a very positive note there, except you ruined it. Like, you had to ruin it.
Jesus, we'll see the negativity on Friday night around, I don't know, 28.
I was at a 3-1 game at the weekend, lads. Nashville SC against Houston in the MLS.
How are the American fans anyway?
Oh, jeez. I'm not going to tear all our US-based listeners now with the same brush, but like, aren't they just the cringiest bunch of supporters in any sport that you could ever encounter? Like, they're just like unbelievable. Like,
I think they're lovely. They're lovely, like, but just their chants need a lot of work.
Oh yeah. There was one there now, like, ref, you suck, and then Nashville scored one, and they started chanting at the opposition keeper, "It's all your fault. It's all your fault." And it was a great goal from a guy like Mukhtar there. They signed him from Stuttgart, I think, or something. But yeah, it was a decent game. Stadium was unbelievable. Like, it's like a 27,000 seater. Like, it was only built like 2 years ago. They were playing in the same stadium as the Titans, I think, for a while, and then they moved into their own one. Like, class stadium. What I thought was brilliant, actually, every second seat was coloured, the club colours. So it was very hard to make out empty seats. Like, you would look around and actually think it looks more fuller than it actually was. Fair play, and they seem to be doing well. Good experience anyway. So thanks Nashville SC for the kind hospitality to the ORC. Grateful for the tickets and the experience. They invited me to a tour as well, but I couldn't make it. Genuinely.
You should send them a t-shirt as thanks.
Do you know what? I think I will. If I never want to hear from them again, I probably will. But no, I'll hopefully stay in touch with some of them. So thanks to Sean and Brian from Nashville SC for sorting me out.
Right. Are we done?
I hope so.
You tell us, Dan, you're the host. This is your gig.
I think we're done. Feel a bit depressed now. Sorry, after the 3-1 show. Well, now I think Bloomberg's game over though Friday night.
Oh, lads.
Well, if it does, it will not be the fan base's fault. That has to be understood. It has to be understood by everybody.
Yeah, but that's because it was ours. That was yours. It's your fault, Decky.
Come here, lad. Everything is my fault.
I blame Bad Decky for the relegation, to be honest. Like, I think it's all. Yeah.
Of course.
This one now was the one you may have had a hand in.
That didn't count. It was a pandemic. It was a global pandemic, Dan. It's not something to be laughed at or made light of. It's not like it was a serious situation. Come on, no.
Scary.
Can't be. Jeez, I know we joke on the pod now time to time, but like...
That white's all right.
All right. Adios, amigos.
Adios.
Pero miedo, amigos. Adios.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/TOTAP for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.